Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts. I like the chart behind me, which is ProShares Short Real Estate, ticker symbol REK. And so I wanted to go over this chart here on the morning of Friday, August 23rd. Market's been open for about an hour, and I did just get an alert, as you can see here, at $17 a share. We did just cross below it and are currently 3 cents below that level. And so, I wanted to go over why I had that level marked, why it's possible we're approaching or at the top of a, real estate bubble, and that we could see some volatility to the upside with REC, and this could be a nice way to hedge the housing market. And so, looking at that 17, let's look back in time where and why, might I have had that level drawn here. And so we can see this low here dip to 1665. That was at the beginning of February of 2023. And following that dip, let's say taking it from the bottom just to make it easy for me, we went up about, over 20% over the course of about 50 days. And then following that, did consolidate a little bit, essentially forming like a bull flag here. And then we went up to this high, which if I move this over, we can see that was a move of almost 35%, being up about $5.75, right around there. And that took place over the course of 269 days. And yeah, so I think that's pretty interesting. But we, as I have taken a step back in the chart, we can see that the price of REC was previously trading lower. So that makes me think, maybe there's still some risk even with it having hit this prior pivot low. Maybe we could be going lower still. And if I do take a step back, we can see this low. That's at a price of 1467. Looks like it was right before a 1-for-2 reverse split. And that was, at the end of the year of 2021 when we hit that low, the reverse split being in the middle of January 2022. And so thinking about that, looking at the chart, I'm also very curious to see where this was at during 2020, specifically March of 2020, beginning of the pandemic. And, I think there'd be a lot of panic and there might be a big spike in the shorting of real estate. And if we do take a step back, we can see that here highlighted pretty nicely here at a high of 36.49. So I'm just going to draw a line there so we have an idea of where that prior high was when there was a lot of panic in the market. This spiked up, and let's see, how much did it spike up from the lows up to that top? That's about 65% over the course of, just about a month. So that was a pretty nice move. And so if we're in a scenario where we might be, in a real estate bubble, we might see housing prices start to collapse a little bit, or at least maybe pull back some. We don't have to be super dramatic about it. What are some levels, or where are some levels that the price might be coming down to if it is to continue lower, or perhaps, it has found support right around $17 where I have that alert. As it did correspond with a bounce here, maybe it will correspond with a bounce now. And so the first thing that I would do is just, take a step back, see if I can draw a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top to see if there are some levels that might be acting as support. So let's do that now. Just grabbing the Fibonacci retracement tool, going from that low of, let's see, 1467, so right there, and then up to that high of 2339. Okay, locked it in there. All right, and so now we've got all of these levels. Let's see where we are trading at. Currently, we've broken below the golden pocket, which is the range from the 65% level up to the 618. Really, the 65% level, that's a level I added to the more traditional Fibonacci levels, and that is because that is the golden pocket, that range there. And so that does come down to 1737, currently trading below that. So the next level to the downside, it stands out to me, is going to be the 786 at around 1632. So price could definitely still be going lower. While it might be a great dip buying opportunity now, it could always go lower. Maybe we even see a bounce, and then maybe it gets rejected from that 618, as we do see that acted as support over here, as that was tested as support in the past. that is now going to be resistance now that we have bounced and then broken below it. It even acted as support over here in the middle of July, and then these bounces ranged from December of 2023 into January, really the beginning of the year, saw a bounce there. So I could definitely see a bounce to, let's see, 1762, but I do expect price to continue lower to around 1632. And so with that being said, I am just going to clean up the chart a little bit since we're not really dealing with any levels above the 618. So I'm just going to clear them off here, and then we have all those other levels to the downside as well as the upside that I think, these will be acting as resistance. This could be acting as support. But what I want to find is another level, maybe another trend line that could support the target of 1632. And so the one thing that stands out to me looking at the chart, really, I just wanted to, before I look over here, I wanted to see, do any of these bottoms connect to make an uptrend that could be acting as support? Clearly, we've broken below that if there was anything. And so, we have tested that level as support here, but over here we did break it. So I'm not even going to draw that up because we're so far below it, so far away from it in time. I don't think it's relevant. And so with that being said, are there any levels over here that I could draw? And it does look to me like maybe we've had some bottoms here that there's a downtrend acting as support. Maybe that will be acting as support, or maybe it's acting as support right now. And so what I'm going to do is take the ray tool and just kind of arbitrarily connect the lines here, really these pivot lows. Okay, so that's a little too steep. And this one seems, that seems to work pretty well because we did have some bounces over here, just connecting that to the pivot low from it's April 3rd of 2023. Did get, some breaks of that level. I'm actually going to move that a little bit there just so it's at the pivot low from December 14th of 2023. And so we definitely have tested that level multiple times as support. And so let's see where we're at now. That is above current price. And moving forward into the future, looking at around the end of October, those two levels, the 786 and this downtrend, coincide. And so that could most definitely be acting as support. And so I feel like 1632 is a pretty good downside target for REC, for shorting the real estate market with this ETF. But there's one other thing that stands out to me, and this is actually a little bit concerning that it could be going way lower than 1632. And that is, if we look at this trend line, I tend to make these a little bit thicker and color them purple for some reason when they look like they might be necklines to head and shoulders patterns. And so what I see here is a left shoulder here, a big head here, and then a broad shoulder over here. And if we come to that line, that could be a head and shoulders pattern, and that is a bearish pattern that would suggest price is going much lower. And so from that, the way that you can use a head and shoulders pattern to measure out where price might be going is by taking a measurement from the top of the head straight down to the neckline. And, I'm just going to make sure that's a straight line, not fudging it around or anything. And so that represents about a 20% drop from the top there to that neckline. And then move this over to where we would be breaking right around there at the end of October. And so we can see from that measurement where price might be going. And as you can see, it's off the chart. So I'm going to have to adjust the axis here. And we can see that from that, this could be coming down to around $12 a share. So while 17, it might seem like a nice dip, I think it's going to be coming down to at least 1632. And realistically, I think this seems a little extreme that it would be coming down to around $12 a share. I think that suggests that we're really, if we are in this real estate bubble, it's just going to be expanding so much more to a really kind of catastrophic degree. And that if this comes down from, this neckline, another 28%, I think that we could really see a massive volatile squeeze to the upside. So it does seem to me to still be fairly concerning, whether it's, the real estate market or rec, whatever it is. But, if you're a homeowner, this could actually be a good time to continue holding the property. If this is to continue coming down, that means real estate values going up. And so, I think that is, a great thing, but not so much if you're a home buyer wanting to buy a home. And so I think that we might still have some time before that bubble bursts. And with that being said, I don't think this is going to be a drop straight down. I think coming down to this level could take a year, if not more. And so I do think that, it might be a good time to still be long real estate, capitalize on that on the way down. And if we do find support at 1632, this doesn't have to play out as a head and shoulders pattern, as it is a little bit ugly with this massively broad right shoulder here. And as we have bounced from this purple line as support, it has served as support in the past. It may very well be acting as support in October, towards the end of October. So I would, what I will be doing is I'm just going to adjust this alert. I'm going to adjust this alert. I'm actually going to delete this top one because that is not useful. And I'm going to adjust it to not below 17, but now I'm going to do it to below 1632. And I'm going to leave the drawings up here so I have an idea. When that alert goes off, what am I looking at? Am I looking at a neckline and a possible 28% move to the downside? Or am I looking for a bounce and a potential 14% swing to the upside? So, I think that is pretty cool. It just popped up in my alerts today, so I wanted to share it with you guys. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.